We were founded in 1992. So last year, 2012, was our 20-year anniversary. We were acquired by Trimble in August of 2012. We're excited about being part of the Trimble family and the role that we play in kind of the end-to-end solution. So taking a project is certainly in that GC space and dealing with all aspects of that project, turning an idea that an owner has for a project into a delivered building or whatever the structure may be, and all the solutions in between. At WinEst, our focus is all cost estimating and budgeting solutions. I say that it's important that our developers, our quality assurance resources, our documentation folks, the support representatives, we're all focused on providing world-class cost estimating solutions. Having said that, we recognize that you use a number of other tools in your businesses. On the scheduling side, we recognize that a lot of our customers rely on Primavera and MS Project to satisfy their scheduling needs. They may also do their two-dimensional takeoff in OnCenter's on-screen takeoff software. Trimble, of course, does a phenomenal job in the world of 3D quantity takeoff and with the 3D modeling capabilities that are found in VICO and specifically VICO Cost Planner. So we kind of have the world of 3D and 2D covered within the Trimble umbrella. And then, of course, we also understand that a number of companies rely on certain Autodesk products to get their work done, and we also integrate there too, specifically to Revit architecture. And WinEst, the estimating software itself, when we ship that software, it already includes integrations to 15 to 20 of the leading cost accounting systems that are in the market today. So it's understood that when you develop an estimate, you can then take the results of that estimate and push it to the costing side of the project management software so that you can manage that project to completion and always be able to compare project actuals against estimated cost. We're used around the world. Our software, this question may come up, it's English software only, so we don't have foreign language versions of the WinEst estimating software, but we still are used around the world in those instances where people are quite comfortable using software that's not translated. We're headquartered in Kent, Washington. If you're familiar with the state of Washington at all, we're about 10 minutes south of Seattle. There's a lot more information about WinEst on www.winest.com, so if you go out and Google WinEst, you'll find information out there. I would also say there's a lot of information to be found about WinEst and our solutions out on YouTube. So if you search on YouTube, you'll see a lot of videos about our software, which can be helpful if you have other people in the office that want to learn more about the product as well. So why WinEst? You know, we like to think that the rationale for implementing a system like WinEst falls into a number of categories. Obviously, we recognize that estimating is a productivity tool, first and foremost, and we believe that we can dramatically improve your efficiency in the development at all levels of estimating, and that we can also have a very important impact on accuracy. And you'll see more about that when we get into the software. We also know that anytime you talk about a database-driven estimating system, you could also say that that database is your means to protect your company's intellectual property. When you've got people with 10, 20, and 30 years of estimating experience, to be able to fit that experience into a database-driven system so that that experience can be leveraged not only today across the entire estimating department, but it can be captured for years and years to come. It's a shame, it's a crime when people with that level of knowledge, you know, retire or walk out the front door, and the information and the knowledge that walks out that door at the same time, it can be very damaging to an organization. And if that information is stored in a database-driven system, that knowledge can be leveraged, as I said, for years to come. Standardization and professionalism is, of course, another thing that we think that we bring to the table with our WinEst solution. So today, I would argue today that it's still true. I wasn't sure that this would be the case in 2013, but most of the people purchasing the WinEst software today are coming from an Excel environment. And Excel is great in terms of its ease of use and flexibility, but because there's no database of standards, many times companies look like, if you've got 5 estimators, you can look like 5 different companies to the outside world. Part of what we offer is just to raise the bar when it comes to standardization and professionalism in terms of the view of your company from the outside world. And then last but not least, if you are one of those organizations that is using Excel currently to do your estimating, of course, one of the things that we run into all the time, I heard this comment just last week that somebody said, we're using these Excel templates that were created 5 years ago, and we know that there's probably some errors in those templates, there's some errors in some of the formulas, but we're scared to death to change any of those formulas for fear that we may break links to other worksheets, and so we will live with those errors. And that kind of thing is just not necessary. With a tool like WinEst and our spreadsheet and the way our spreadsheet works, it cannot be broken. So that fear immediately goes away. So we're in a lot of different sectors, and I'm sure we've got a number of these sectors that are represented on this webinar today. So WinEst is used in a number of different areas. Of course, the bulk of our customers do fall into the general contractor construction management space, but we do have people who use our system in the energy utility markets, public works, military defense, specialty trades, and of course we're heavily used in the owner space as well. So we have quite a diverse group of customers. This slide is the last slide I want to look at before we actually jump into the software. This will give you kind of a point of reference. As I said, we provide solutions for all phases of the cost estimating kind of bidding process. In the cost feasibility phase, several weeks ago, we did a webinar on ModelLogix. ModelLogix is a tool that we use to leverage your past project costs to more quickly turn around a feasibility budget or a parametric estimate by tapping into your history and finding a group of related products. So this is all about cost modeling. You see that this tool is fed from the core estimating system, or the detailed estimating system that you see here in the middle in the green box. It's also fed from actual costs that can be gathered upon project completion and also published into that back-end database. Today, we're really focusing on this green window here. This would be our core estimating system. We have 3 levels of that estimating system: Pro, Pro Plus, and E-Team. Our focus today, I'm going to spend most of my time kind of talking about Pro Plus and E-Team. The important thing about E-Team, that is our most advanced level of the estimating system. It is the collaborative version of the estimating system, meaning it supports a collaborative approach to building an estimate. You can have multiple estimators, multiple resources contributing to the same estimate at the same time, literally being in the same spreadsheet at the same time. And their work is protected, so each individual contributor, their information that they contribute to that estimate is locked down to that particular owner. Pro Plus is a subset of E-Team. It does not provide the collaborative approach to building an estimate, but it does include a merge capability that would allow you to take individual estimates and merge them together for a composite estimate. Up above, you see a product called Enterprise Data Manager. We are going to take a look at that tool today. It is an estimate revision log that actually stores your estimate at various points of time. As an estimate might move through 3 or 4 very defined phases of the estimating process, Enterprise Data Manager is a place where you could actually view that estimate saved at each of those critical stages. Down below, you see Virtual Takeoff. We'll look at Virtual Takeoff today. That is the WinEst developed version of our 2D or two-dimensional takeoff capabilities. It is a WinEst product that allows you to work with both electronic plans, and in those rare instances these days when you have paper plans, it will allow you to do both. WinEst Pro is our integration to Revit Architectural, so we can facilitate an automated takeoff by using the object and property data found in a Revit model. And then the last orange box there you see is the OST integrator. So I'm guessing if experience has taught us anything, that probably as much as 50% of the people on this phone call today might be using OnCenter's on-screen takeoff software to perform their two-dimensional takeoff. And we have written a very, very nice interface to allow you to take advantage of that two-dimensional takeoff in OnCenter and use that information in the key or core WinEst application. You also see arrows pointing to scheduling. So WinEst will provide the cost and resource data to basically cost and resource load an activity list or a task list in both Primavera and Microsoft Project. And then last but not least, we can take the information that's contained in that estimate, summarize it to the appropriate cost codes that are being tracked in either the cost accounting system or in a project management system. And we can actually push that information over to products like Prolog and Proliance and any other leading project management software or cost accounting software.